Hello everyone, this is Dr.P.Syamala from the Department of MBA, IB, Acharya Nagarjuna University. And today's our topic is regarding principles of management. So what are the principles of management? What is a principle of management? Okay. What is the concept of principles of management, and what are the aspects that are involved in these principles of management can be studied under this class. Okay, so first of all, principles of management means the principles of management are a set of guidelines that will help the managers to make decisions, to solve the problems, and to achieve the organizational goals. We all know that organization will have a predetermined goals, and in order to achieve those goals, the internal management or else the workers of the organization will try to achieve those predetermined goals. Okay, so with the help of the manager. Okay, so a set of guidelines, principles will be act as a set of guidelines that help the managers in making decisions, to resolve the problems, okay, and finally to achieve the organizational goals. And these principles of management are basic activities, okay, that can help you to plan, to organize and control the operations related to the materials, people, machine, methods, money, market, etc. Okay, so principles of management are very important. So the organizational principle is the great and overall direction for determining the performance. Okay, so every organization will have principles. So the organization principle will be, it is a great and it overall direction, it shows overall direction for determining the performance. Okay, so for instance, while ascertaining about the promotion of an employee, okay, in that organization, a manager may contemplate seniority, or else some others may take principle of quality, either seniority or principle of quality. So it depends upon the situation, it depends upon the person. Okay, so and it depends upon the organizational principle also. If that organization principle is to consider seniority, then they will take seniority. So one may define principles of management from those of pure science. Okay, so management principles are not as firm as postulates of pure science. Okay, under pure science there are specific principles that are to be followed. Okay, but under here that much stringent principles will not be there under management principles. Okay, and they are not that firm, okay, as like we see in pure science. So they deal with human traits, human qualities, and hence they are to be employed creatively given the requirements of the position. Depending upon the position in the organization, the requirement of the position in the organization, employees will be employed. Okay, then human behavior is never inactive, and so also technology, which businesses. Okay, so therefore all the principles have to keep step with these changes. According to the changes, we have to apply the principles, we have to change our principles. Okay, for example, in the absenteeism of information and communication technology, as we call it as ICT, when in the absenteeism of this ICT, a manager could manage only a small workforce, that too within a restricted geographical area. Okay, so previously where there is no information and communication technology, it is a hectic job for a manager to manage the workforce, okay, within a restricted that too within a restricted geographical area. Okay, but the approach of ICT has developed the ability of the manager to control over large business domains scattered across the globe. Okay, why it happens, why it makes possible for a manager Why it increases the ability of the manager means, as we are applying the ICT, information and communication technology, okay, it make easy for the managers. Okay, so here we have to understand, in promoting an understanding of the application of principles of management, it is also helpful to comprehend what these are not. Okay, everything should be considered. So principles of management should be selected from techniques of management. So techniques are methods, or else other techniques which include a group of steps to be taken to achieve sought goals. Okay, so techniques or methods, okay, both are same only. So these techniques or methods, they will have a group of steps which have to be followed. So principles are guidelines to make judgments or take actions while studying techniques. So here we can differ principles from values also. Okay, and why it is important for principles of management, why principles of management are important to understand means, it provides managers with useful insights into reality. Okay, so the application of principles of management, it helps the managers to take right decisions at right time. So these principles of management help managers to tackle the diverse problems in a dynamic business environment. Likewise, application of these principles, understanding of these principles of management are useful in optimum utilization of resources and for effective administration also. Okay, so resources are always scarce, we know that they are limited. So by applying the principles, okay, management principles, the managers can focus on the optimum utilization of the available scarce resources so as to achieve productive results at minimum cost and maximum profits. Okay, and for effective administration also, for channelizing of resources, okay, human and material resources, principles of management will be very effective. Likewise, scientific decisions, in taking scientific decisions, application of principles of management makes the manager more realistic, thoughtful, justifiable, okay, and free from personal bias. Likewise, meeting changing business environments. Okay, although the principles are in nature of general guidelines, they are modified and help managers to meet the changing requirements of the environment. Okay, so likewise here, management training, education and research is also considered under principles of management. Proper understanding of principles is the base of training, research and development in the field of management. Okay, so management is taught on the basis of these principles only, which help the management institutes prepare future managers. Okay, so these principles help managers to take decisions and actions in the right manner. Okay, so we can say in one word what are principles of management means. Principles of management are general guidelines. Okay, so principles of management are general guidelines. Okay, so the principles of management are like just a prescription. Okay, they will not provide any ready-made solutions to sort out the problems being faced by the organizations, but this can be modified as per the nature of the situations. Okay, for example, during the period of recession, the general manager may allow marketing departments to give away heavy discount to the customers, okay, without giving due attention to financial losses being raised by the financing department, because the primacy of overall goals of the organization is important. So in recession period, the manager may take some decisions. Okay, so general guidelines, we can say that principles are general guidelines according to the situation. So hey, okay, we have to take the decisions. The manager has to modify those principles and have to apply depending upon the situations. Likewise, principles of management are universal validity. Principles of management can be applied to any kind of organization, okay, whether it is private, public, profit, small, medium, large, any kind of organization, but their applicability depends upon the nature and size of the organization and different situations also, okay. For example, the whole work of an organization is divided into smaller tasks, and each tasks are assigned to different departments, groups, individuals, etc. So such a system of division of work is applicable in all types of organizations, okay, in small, in big, any type of organization, division of work is implemented, okay. So it is universal applicability, and it is formed by practice and experimentation. Principles are formed on the basis of practice and experimentation, okay. So the principles of management have been formed by experience and expertization acquired through wisdom of managers over the years, okay. For example, we see through collective practice, Fayol has given principles, okay, 14 principles of Henry Fayol's. So likewise, it depends upon the experimentation, practice, etc., okay, as and it is also flexible, okay. The principles of management are flexible. Why? Because the same as it is, we are not, the managers are not using, okay, depending upon the situation and depending upon the requirement, they will modify those principles and they will apply, okay. Likewise, it depends upon the behavior also, okay. The principles of management aims at influencing the behavior of employees. With the help of principles of management, the managers try to bring desired changes in the behavior of employees so as to achieve the organizational goals, okay. So for example, orderliness decides behavior among human beings in a company, okay. Systematic procedure, orderliness, so it decides the behavior of the human beings or else employees in a company. Even the behavior between men and machine can be decided by the principle of management, okay. So if we see what are the principles of management means, okay, so these are some of the general principles other than those principles which are given by the Henry Fayol, okay. Henry Fayol, he had given 14 principles of management, okay, like a division of labor, unity of command, direction, scalar chain, esprit de corps, like that. Likewise, 14 principles has been given by Henry Fayol, okay. So in later on sessions we will try to learn those 14 principles of management, but as far as now we'll try to learn the general principles of management, okay. So first one is management by objectives, okay. So management by objectives means main they are known as MBOs. Familiarly they are known as MBOs, management by objectives, which means that here the superior and subordinate, they will sit together, okay. They will sit together and they will jointly identify the goals of the organization, okay. What are the objectives of the organization, and they will define each individual's major areas, okay. Superiors major areas, subordinates major areas, subordinates work, subordinates the responsibilities, superiors, what is the superiors work, what would be the how to frame the superiors objectives, okay. So the superiors and subordinates, they sit together and they will identify their common goals, superior and subordinate common goals of the organization, of the department. Why? Because here in organization we have different departments: production department, marketing department, sales department, finance, personnel, office, like this, okay. So they will frame the organizational goals, okay. And after achieving the results also, they will try to evaluate their results, evaluate their performance, okay. And if at all there is any shortage of objectives, okay, if at all the objectives are not up to mark, okay, if the objectives have not been matured, then again they will see where they are lagging, okay. Then measures will be taken as guides for operating the units and assess the contribution of each of its members. Okay, so this is management by objectives, MBOs, where superiors and subordinates together they sit and they analyze jointly and identify the common goals and common objectives of their department and the organization as a whole. Okay, then management by learning from experience. So this is another principle. This is important principle. Okay, all these are very important. Here also this principle, why it is important means superiors and subordinates are very important for the organization. Okay, so there should not be any clash between them. So it creates, okay, MBO creates a good rapport between the superior and subordinate, good relationship, coordination, cohesiveness between them. Okay, so likewise management by learning from experience. Okay, so this is another principle. So learning from experience means this principle is applied when management realizes that there is a gap. Okay, when management realizes that there is a gap between what objectives and results. Okay, what are the objectives, okay, and what we have achieved. Okay, so that is the difference. They will identify the difference. Then what will they do? Management analyzes why observed results were achieved and why they fell short. Okay, so why the objectives or goals have not been up to mark, why we have not achieved the goals, so what is the short. Then management learns from this process, okay, and uses what it has learned in its further decisions. Okay, so now it is an experience to them where they have done mistake, and in future if at all that situation again arises means, so this will become an experience to them, okay, to take right decisions. So for further decisions, in order to take further decisions, this principle learning from experience will be very helpful. So this process is also known as feedback of information from experience to decision for action. Okay, so management by division of labor. Okay, so management by division of labor means the work is divided into smaller parts. Okay, and those that distributed work will be distributed to, that divided work is distributed between the members of a group in the department or the organization, and that work is directed and coordinated with the superiors. Okay, the group, the team. Okay, so division of labor, it helps a lot in the organization. For example, if we take a burger, okay, in McDonald's they will they'll prepare burgers. So in the preparation of that burgers, so some persons will prepare the duff, some persons will prepare the what else, the cheese or that mayonnaise, etc. And some people work for preparing that salads, like that. Okay, likewise the work is divided, okay, to prepare one product. Okay, so this is division of labor. This principle is very, very helpful to any organization, and in a team generally when there is a specialization. Okay, so specialization means definitely repeatedly doing the same work, it creates the expertise in that particular work. Okay, means that those persons will be specialized in that work. So this division of labor, each category of staff exercising its own skills towards achieving these objectives, they will be expertised in that field. Okay, so management assigns a balanced proportion of each kind of staff to the work to be done. So division of labor is a very good principle in the organization. Okay, so it creates many benefits to the organization. Okay, so this is another principle, important principle. Then management by substitution of resources. Okay, this is another principle. So substitution of resources means here, so for using one resource, in that place we are using the other resources. For example, at present we are using men. Okay, men at some point of our organization. So in order to done the work speedily, okay, for the fastness of the work, and for without any damages, or else without any defective products, to produce, without producing defective products within a time. Okay, we are now substituting these men in place of men. Now we are substituting the machinery. Okay, so now we are substituting machinery. So that is known as substitution of resources. So this depends upon the situation, this depends upon the size of the organization, nature of the organization, all the things. Okay, now labor substitution using trained auxiliary personnel or volunteers. Okay, now we are substituting the men in a particular department. So we are substituting this men with whom means here trained auxiliary personnel. In those in this place we are now using this auxiliary personnel, means here those are the expertise persons in that particular field. So we are hiring for professionals. Okay, we are hiring professionals, so we are substituting the expert persons. So that is known as substitution of resources. This depends upon the situation. If it is necessary, if there is a requirement, definitely the organization has to go for this principle. Okay, likewise examples for this substitution of resources, like using of generic drugs instead of original one. Okay, likewise substituting of bikes for motor vehicle, okay, transport when petrol sales go up. Okay, so these are the substitute examples. Now finally, management by delegation. Okay, so management by delegation means transfer of authority and responsibility. Okay, who will transfer the authority or else responsibility? Who will transfer the power? Means superiors. Okay, superiors transfers to subordinates. Okay, superiors transfers to subordinates the authority and responsibility. When means whenever sometimes managers, okay, sometimes managers in their daily routine works, okay, the same work is daily done by those persons, means okay, he can delegate that work to the subordinates, and he may work on other aspects. Okay, so in this way the time can be managed. Okay, and the work also divided between the persons. Okay, so likewise managers should also delegate work. Okay, here managers should also delegate work if someone else is better prepared, okay, or has greater expertise or knowledge to solve the problems, then manager can delegate the work. Means if at all that person is capable, able person, then the manager can delegate the authority even though he is a subordinate to him. Okay, so likewise management by delegation means transfer of responsibility and authority. Okay, and it entrusts task. One person is entrusting his task, his work to another person who serves as one's representative. That entitled person, okay, the person who has taken that power, that person is considered as a representative to the person who has delegated that authority. So this is about the principles of management. These are very important for the manager. Okay, if at all he want to take any decisions in the organization, these principles will be very useful for the manager. Okay, so these are all the principles of management.